Hello, class. I wish I could be there with you today, but unfortunately I can't, but we're still going to get our learning on, all right? So we're going to kind of switch lanes just a little teeny bit and talk a little about digital literacy. This is something that we touched on earlier this semester, but we're going to dig a little deeper right now. This is going to help you with your next project, which is a research project. So digital literacy is basically what it sounds. It's becoming literate on digital platforms. Now, basically, every one of you has got experience with digital platforms. If you get a cell phone, if you've been in the computer, of course, as we have, if you've been on the internet, social media, if you've, I don't know, recorded music, if you have an MP4, looked at articles online, basically everyone of you has connection with digital information. It's impossible not to in America today. But not all digital information is good. Not all of it is beneficial to you. The definition of digital literacy, Cornell University offers a definition that not everyone likes, but it kind of gets at the heart of it. And this digital literacy is the ability to find, evaluate, utilize, share, and create content using information technologies and the internet. That is digital literacy in a nutshell. And this author right here basically says this isn't wrong so much as it focuses too much on technology and the internet. Literacy can't be about the forms unless we're talking about form literacy. Digital tools exist for access, finding information, then finding better information, socializing, thinking, connecting, and contributing to digital communities you care about. So it's not just about finding information. You can click on the internet and there's all kinds of information out there. It's finding the right information for your purpose. And we're going to do a little bit of that today. Here's a little video about digital literacy.
Digital literacy is a term you may have heard more and more about over the past few years. But what does it mean and why is it important? We increasingly communicate and access information through a variety of digital environments. Our workplaces, social lives, and educational settings all require some form of competence in digital literacy. Digital literacy isn't just about knowing how to use technology. It's about navigating and communicating through different digital environments. You need a certain level of digital literacy to turn a computer on, for example, but require different skills to locate and complete an online job application. The extent in which you participate in different aspects of the digital world is often shaped by your personal need for the information and the opportunities that it provides. Some people rely on social media sites to keep up to date with their friends and arrange their social calendars, whereas others don't engage with it at all. However, there are some areas where having the appropriate skills are extremely important to succeed in the modern world. 90% of new graduate jobs require high-level information and communication technology, or ICT skills. The jobs market is very competitive and changeable, and having the right digital literacy skills is essential to employability. This directly impacts the world of education. Students need to have digital literacy skills alongside their qualifications to help them become employable when they graduate. There are also so many new ways to learn. As well as searching through physical texts, you can now access information and research instantly via the web. Video, audio, and images can be used for teaching and for student assignments. Assessed work is increasingly submitted electronically and feedback given online. Communicating and collaborating on content can be facilitated through a variety of online platforms. With all these new opportunities come new requirements and responsibilities for everybody. We need to understand how to evaluate and look at the authenticity and validity of the wealth of information available to us. There are aspects of being safe online, understanding our online identity, and being aware of the etiquette of online communication. Digital literacy skills will get more necessary as technology develops, particularly as cultures, languages, and different modes of communication overlap and intersect. We all need to be prepared to understand and embrace this new digital landscape and be confident and competent in guiding our future generations through it.
All right, good information. So digital literacy encompasses quite a few different things, and we've got a little circle graph here where digital literacy is in the middle. But as you see, we've got creativity, critical thinking and evaluation, cultural and social understanding, collaboration. That's something that one of our students, Deanna, does. She does some collaborating videos with people all around the world. It's amazing what she does. She puts together some pretty good videos with these folks. Then it's the ability to find and select information, effective communication. E-safety is very important. When you put your information out in the internet, it virtually becomes accessible to billions and billions of people. And what they do with it, who knows? Some use it for nefarious reasons. Some may use it for good reasons. But nonetheless, it's your information, so you need to be careful before you put it out there. We're going to do a little take a look at a little website that maybe you shouldn't put your information in there. I'll show it to you shortly. And then also there's functional skills. So basically, every one of you has functional skills, and we've been working a little bit in a couple of classes on creativity using digital information. We've done that with Buncee, Powtoons, but we'll be doing a little bit more. But digital literacy also allows you to improve your critical thinking and evaluation. And we'll be evaluating some websites here shortly also. So the issue we have with information right now, with information being so easily accessible on the internet, and, mainly, but of course there's social media sites provide all types of information. Facebook, I mean, is going through a thing right now where they're spending billions of dollars trying to figure out how to get misinformation off of their pages. We had an election that's still questionable about whether the current occupier of the White House was elected based upon a lot of information provided by a foreign source. So this, if misinformation can do things such as just maybe affect a presidential election or public opinion, imagine how damaging it can be to you as an individual. There's just so much information that you just don't know what is right and what is wrong. So we'll start with that a little bit here, but to be honest with you, on an ongoing basis for the rest of your life, maybe as long as we're using digital information, you're going to have to learn how to basically navigate the information world yourself. And what I'm going to do is just give you a few pointers that are going to help you, first of all, in school, when you're doing your research projects, and then help you when you go to search for a job, when you're working, and hopefully, help you when you're looking for information for you and your family in the future. All right. Fake news. I mean, I don't know if you've heard about it, but if you're if you're alive and breathing right now, and everyone's heard this term fake news, it's become sort of a joke. That it's fake news. It's a new term that we use as something being a lie. Of course, the term lie is strong enough, but fake news maybe doesn't sound as strong as a lie. And so people are applying fake news to just about anything. There are politicians, corporations that are using the term fake news against things that they don't believe in. It doesn't necessarily mean that the information is fake. It's just that they don't want you to believe that information. So point being is that, fake news, you can't take someone else's opinion about whether it's fake or not. You have to do your own research, and you also have to decide whether the person or the entity that's providing the news is reliable. Here's a little video about fake news.
Fake news is nothing new, but bogus stories can reach more people more quickly via social media than what good old-fashioned viral emails could accomplish in years past. A lot of these viral claims aren't news at all, but fiction, satire, and efforts to fool readers into thinking they're for real. Here are some strategies to shield yourself from fake news. Are you familiar with the source? Is it legitimate? Has it been reliable in the past? If not, you may not want to trust it. If a provocative headline drew your attention, read a little further before you decide to pass along the shocking information. Even in legitimate news stories, the headline doesn't always tell the whole story. But fake news, particularly efforts to be satirical, can include several revealing signs in the text. One fake story even attributed a quote to a dolphin. If that had been real, you could argue they buried the lead. Another telltale sign of a fake story is often the byline, if there even is one. And in some cases, the authors are not even real. One story was credited to a doctor who won 14 Peabody Awards and a handful of Pulitzer Prizes, which would be very impressive if it wasn't also totally made up. Many times these bogus stories will cite official or official-sounding sources, but once you look into it, the source doesn't back up the claim. Some false stories aren't completely fake, but rather distortions of real events. These mendacious claims can take a legitimate news story and twist what it says, or even claim that something that happened long ago is related to current events. One deceptive website took a story that was over a year old from CNN and slapped on a new, misleading headline and publication date. So on top of the deception, there was copyright infringement. Remember, there is such a thing as satire. Normally it's clearly labeled as such, and sometimes it's even funny. But it isn't the news. And then there's the more debatable forms of satire, designed to pull one over on the reader. These posts are also designed to encourage clicks and generate money for the creator through ad revenue. But they aren't news. We know this is difficult. Confirmation bias leads people to put more stock in information that confirms their beliefs and discount information that doesn't. But the next time you're automatically appalled at some social media post concerning, say, a politician you oppose, take a moment to check it out. Try this simple test. What other stories have been posted to the news website that is the source of the story that just popped up in your social media feed? You may be predisposed to believe a story about a politician you don't like, but if the alleged news site also features a story about Guardians from Antarctica retaliating against America by hitting New Zealand with an earthquake, maybe you should think twice before sharing. And yes, that earthquake story is a real example of a fake story that popped up. We know you're busy, and some of this debunking takes time, but fact-checkers get paid to do this kind of work. Between factcheck.org, Snopes.com, the Washington Post Fact Checker, and PolitiFact.com, it's likely at least one has already fact-checked the latest viral claim to pop up in your social media newsfeed. And remember, newsreaders themselves remain the first line of defense against fake news. To see more, go to factcheck.org.
All right, hopefully that was helpful. I know it is to me. So let's see what else we have here. So what you need to do is, before you at least do a research paper, or if you're going to do something important like search for a job, or what have you, you need to think about, how you approach the internet as opposed to everything else. In other words, think about how you read on the internet. Do you read differently than you do a magazine, or your classwork or a book? Typically, the answer to that is yes. A lot of folks say they do read differently on the internet. One thing they do is they don't read all the text on the page. The internet, and we'll see that in a second, is designed to have certain bold areas that catch your attention. Other things, maybe not so much. How do you use pictures to help you read? Sometimes a picture on the internet, like what's the old term? A picture's worth 1,000 words. Well, that's not necessarily true, okay? Because pictures don't always tell the entire story. In order to get the entire story, you need to read those 1,000 words. Picture is there to get your attention, and as you do with the presentations you're working on, people who put together web pages put pictures in there that will get attention. Not necessarily factual, but get attention. What do you look for on the home page of a website? What kind of information is on the front of that page? That's important. And how do you choose what links to click? These are things you got to consider when you're doing research or doing internet searches that are important to you, such as getting a job, maybe getting information about how to get a home loan. This is something you'll consider in the future when you buy your first house. What are the best cars out there, the most dependable cars on the market? Or if you're just looking at who are you going to vote for, right? It's important that you keep all these questions in mind. Now, if you're just on the internet, just getting lost into some sort of page about actors or actresses or musicians or music, and maybe you don't care about all that stuff. Maybe you just want to relax. But if you're going to do some